No one thinks about their old hot water heater until they run out of hot water.
Oh, no.
Or until it starts leaking.
Oh, no.
If your tank water heater is over 8 years old, a leak could cost you a lot more than higher energy bills. Consider upgrading to a Navien tankless water heater. No tank to heat or leak. And endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. Navien turns...
Oh, no.
...into...
Oh, yes.
Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
So I just left the house to go pick up my kids, and 10 minutes later, I got a motion alert from Ring. My alarm was going off. I opened up my app, and there's this guy running out the front door. I didn't know who he was. Before I could do anything, I got a call from Ring.
This is Jordan with Ring Alarm Monitoring. I'll send the police right over.
My name's Nadine, and Ring helped save my house from a break-in.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/safety. That's ring.com/safety.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast an unidentified man from Hull, England. Now, earlier this week, our honoree went to the Royal Infirmary for a COVID test. And, Miles, you can probably corroborate this, but essentially the COVID-19 test, the swab sticks, they're about 6 inches long. They're made from very thin plastic, and they have material on one end. So basically, they look like a giant Q-tip. And they're so long because the swabs, even though they go through your nose, they actually need to touch the back of your throat. And actually, they said one of the problems that happens is it'll end up hitting someone's tongue or their tonsils, and that kind of ruins the whole test. So it's a specialized way that they stick this in, but it has to reach the back of your throat. Then that same swab, it'll snap in half so it can fit inside of the specimen container. Well, it's a pretty simple procedure, a little invasive, but pretty simple. Unfortunately for our hero, he was admitted to the hospital right after he got his COVID test. And it's not that he tested positive for COVID, it's that he accidentally swallowed the entire swab stick.
Oh, my God.
No word on his condition. So they put this thing in his nose. I don't know if he had to sneeze and did a big inhale or what happened, but this thing shot out of the nurse's hand into his nose and down his throat. And you're thinking to yourself, what kind of idiot could possibly accidentally swallow an entire swab stick? Well, I don't know, but he's not alone. A man in New Mexico, Albuquerque, he accidentally swallowed his swab stick. He did it at the drive-through clinic. So this dude's sitting in his car, leans back, right, they stick in his nose, poof, it's gone, and sir, get out of your car, you need to go to the hospital. So we're toasting our man. Hopefully he's negative.
It is I can't explain that feeling.
Just went back to probe.
You never had anybody scratch your brain before?
Yeah.
No.
It's just a weird thing.
How long is it in?
You don't know how far that goes back.
You mean your nasal cavity?
You don't realize how far you can stick a Q-tip up your nose.
I literally, I just did it, right, when I got off the plane and stuff. I'm negative.
Good.
Right? But, he handed me a tissue, and I was like, And then as soon as he, pulled it out, I started just crying.
Oh, really?
You can't.
Because it hits that trigger.
Yeah, he's like, that's what the tissue's for. I was like, thank you.
Thank you, man.
It's like getting something in your eyes and you got to sneeze.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, he snorted it. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles, but first, someone has potentially cleared up why the Amazon driver had to jump into a pool to save a dog that we assume could swim. Said it's probably an above-ground pool.
Oh, so the dog just tired itself out. Can't get out the ladder.
Now that makes sense.
Okay, then.
Here we were judging. That's the dumbest dog ever.
It's a dumb dog in a sweater.
Yeah. Our bad. It's a simple game, Miles, where we share with you a real-life news story. Something happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Shane. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right, Shane, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. As always, You get one of 3 stories to choose from: The Wonderful World of Drugs, Bite Me, in other words, what did someone find in their food, and finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up inside of someone.
I'm going to go with drugs.
Go with drugs. All right, here is your story. A 31-year-old former USDA administration task force officer in Louisiana who pleaded guilty to federal drug charges in 2018. He was arrested again by federal authorities in McAllen, Texas, and charged with several new drug-related offenses. One, Johnny Domingue. He was apprehended by federal authorities and charged with possession with intent to distribute the drugs. Between July and September of this year, he had negotiated to purchase a whole bunch of drugs for approximately $100,000. He also negotiated the transportation of additional kilograms of this drug. He's also a former parish sheriff there in Louisiana, and he's alleged to have traveled to Edinburgh, Texas, picked up a vehicle that was loaded with 8 kilograms of drugs concealed inside a secret compartment. They believe he planned on transporting the vehicle to Houston, then to Louisiana, in order to unload the drugs to local buyers. Now, if convicted, he faces a minimum of 10 years and up to life in prison, plus a possible $10 million fine, which is ridiculous because you know goddamn well you're not getting $10 million from this dude. Now, my question for you is, what was the drug that this dude is running over the state borders? Is it meth, weed, cocaine, or oxys?
I'm going to have to go between meth or oxys. I'm thinking meth.
Why are all drugs?
I think meth. I think meth is one of those things that you can find in more locations than you think. It's not that you couldn't get a big truckload,
like McDonald's,
$100,000 worth. Oxys, we know you can get from a prescription or basically any doctor. Used to be that way.
Yeah, but he's moving so much of all, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
I think he's moving so much, even though it's secret compartments. I think, Shane, that this guy, because he is a former sheriff, because he works for the DEA, probably thought, worked. The worst thing in the world isn't weed, so I'm going to make weed my final answer.
So oxy, meth,
cocaine, weed.
And where was it again?
He was busted in Texas.
But he was from Louisiana.
Ooh, so he's running back over to Louisiana.
He's running back. Right. He goes to Texas, picks up the vehicle. The vehicle's loaded with the drugs he wants. They believe he's going to stop in Houston first, make his way back to Louisiana, and just offload the drugs to his buyers. Why are drugs the only thing that we use the metric system for in this country?
Because it's important.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
because you know what? Because the drugs come internationally.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, right. They're probably packaged. Sure.
Right. Man, that's tough. I know there's some specific highway from like Texas to Louisiana.
I know the one you're talking about is probably that highway.
Yep. Yeah. So it's super famous for that. And was it recently?
Yeah.
See, time of year.
Between July and September of this year. So homie was busted within the last couple of days.
Yeah, I just don't see oxys being it. Cocaine.
Sweet guitar solo.
Cocaine could be, but also I just feel like it's going to be meth or weed. You know what? I'm going to go meth.
You're going to go meth?
Yeah.
Getting methy.
Shane, what are you thinking here?
I'm definitely going to stay with meth.
Meth it is. Okay, you'll stick with 10. Right. Okay, we're going to find out if this guy was transferring $100,000 worth of meth, weed, cocaine, or...
If your tank water heater's over 8 years old, you may be sitting on a ticking time bomb. It could start leaking without warning, causing far more damage than the loss of the heater itself. Consider replacing it with a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to leak, endless hot water for spa-like comfort, longer life, and backed by Navien's strong warranty. Before time runs out, visit tanklessmadesimple.com for the name of your Navien contractor.
Count on Navien.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received the fire alarms, all okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Profile this. We've got a 31-year-old DEA officer in Louisiana. He is charged with drug-related distribution, $100,000 worth. He was a former sheriff, DEA agent, the whole deal, so he knew what he was doing. The question is, what did he have? Meth, weed, cocaine, or oxy?
That is a question that we posed to Shane. Shane has since hung up, but Shane, he agreed with D. Ted Smith. Both of you agreed methamphetamine. No. Oh, sorry. The Miles, you said probably weed, because as a DEA guy, it's weed. It's not the worst thing in the world. No. However, one of our listeners, they figured it out, because there's a good chance they're a drug addict. They said, look, it's got to be cocaine. Because it's $100,000 worth, a few keys. You do the math. The only drug that expensive out of your options would be cocaine.
So make it worth your while and do that.
It was, in fact, cocaine.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I thought just meth maybe is I feel like the cartel moves a lot of meth. Well, they move a lot of cocaine.
They move a lot of everything.
It's kind of their thing.
Yep. Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. Trevor Noah.
Ooh, Trevor Noah.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Fallon.
James Falloon.
Seth Meyers.
Seth on the list.
Seth is on the list. Conan also on the list.
No way. We have 4 or 5 options.
And Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late?
That's right there in the title. All these guys have teams of professional writers who come up with their monologues each and every night. It's up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Correct. The 2020 season kicked off. That's right, football is back. Finally, an excuse to drink booze and watch hours of TV. That's right. After the first tackle, the running back didn't get up. He was like, "Feels so good to be held."
Fallon?
Seth.
Fallon.
The 2020 NFL season kicked off. That's right, football is back. Finally, an excuse to drink booze and watch hours of TV. That's right, after the first tackle, the running back didn't get up. He was just like, "It feels so good to be held."
I don't know if you guys saw this. A new report out that pufferfish inflate by sucking in water, not air. And that is why you never see a single pufferfish.
I hope it's you, Ted.
Yeah, that's me. It's hard sometimes. I get proud of it.
That's a good one, though.
I know, but it's hard not to start smiling. That's what look down.
Got that one.
A Lego designer in Denmark recently created a grand piano using over 3,600 plastic pieces. Then his mom put them back in the closet and said, "I thought you were all done with them."
Seth.
Conan?
Seth Meyers.
A Lego designer in Denmark recently created a grand piano with over 3,600 plastic pieces, and then his mom put it all back in the closet. I thought you were done with them.
Martha Stewart is launching her own CBD line. Even crazier, Snoop Dogg is launching his own line of tablecloths and pie tins.
Seth? Conan.
Fallon.
Martha Stewart is launching her own CBD line. Even crazier, Snoop Dogg is launching his own line of tablecloths and pie tins.
You know, if Snoop Dogg had pie tins,
I'd buy them.
Right, they'd be in the shape of
Why not?
Yeah,
The joint.
yeah, or a leaf.
Yeah.
The Chiefs head coach Andy Rooney. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid was having issues with his face shield fogging up in the rain, but it turns out he was just steaming hot dogs.
I hope it's Ted Smith.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, Andy.
Damn, man.
Every time I looked at him last night, I was like, it looks like he's steaming hot dogs in there.
Look, anybody with glasses who wears a mask will tell you right now, that's a life you're living, man.
To me, he looked like a fireman that was coming to your school to tell you about the dangers of playing with matches.
Yeah. Ted, you walk into a building with glasses on, and you're running hot anyway, and you have the mask on or a hat on or anything to keep the heat in, man, immediately you just fog up.
But I found the different masks. So A few of the masks I have, let's say the earlier masks that I've purchased, got my glasses on. Every time you exhale, right, you lose your vision. So I'm not wearing those anymore. But otherwise, yeah. But him, man, you're right. He looked uncomfortable. Like, we understand underneath everyone's mask, there's more moisture. Obviously, you're hotter. You've been breathing the whole time. But with Andy Reid with that plastic face shield, like, hey, dog, we can see that you're struggling in that.
Plus, like, it was raining, but I don't know how. Like, it's still. I bet it was still mild there. So, like, that's perfect fog conditions.
How much money to lick the inside of his face mask?
Oh.
It's going to taste like barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, throw me a number.
Yeah, it's $500.
In.
Yeah, I'll say I'm in. For $500, I'd lick his.
A lot of coaches said they're not doing that now after watching that game last night.
Well, that's the other problem. He was the first. Right, and I get it, but
somebody had to be the guinea pig.
I mean, he's been there every day for practice doing the same thing. I mean,
right, and there's different ones they can wear. We just got to get him a better one.
I think everyone should pitch in. Like,
the
Chiefs, bad look.
Yeah, the Chiefs kind of suffered last night because of this.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. Man, oh, man.
Yeah, they couldn't run any plays.
Yeah,
Andy Reid coached Philadelphia Eagles for years, right? Mm-hmm. And then there was this legendary coach at Maryland football named Ralph Friedgen, who was also a man of bigger character.
The Fridge.
Right. They called him the Fridge, and he didn't care. That was his nickname. And I forget who the third coach was. We'd always have this argument, like, who could eat more sandwiches?
I'd go Friedgen.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Is it steak and cheese, whatever? All right. Now, speaking of food, I have been talking about this show a lot in the office. I've not brought it up yet on the air, but Netflix has a show from Chef's Table. Now, that's like a series where they do different things. But the current season I'm watching is just about barbecue. All right? Now, listen, I already like barbecue, right? I like the style of it. I also love, in a couple episodes, they talk about, they talk about grilling, but, this is barbecue.
Barbecue, sure.
So, I guess part of the reason I love barbecue is it takes so much time and effort. So the first episode is this woman in Texas, and she's like 86, and they're only open on Saturdays, but she runs the pit to this day. She's moving the coals.
She's 86?
Mm-hmm. Right. And the whole...
Sprite 86, I'm sure.
Yeah. Miss Tootsie.
Miss Tootsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always miss.
Yeah, well, her husband had passed away years ago, and the son...
because she outlived him because she ate barbecue.
Yeah, right.
Probably had a cigarette hanging out of her mouth and everything else.
She didn't, but you're not wrong. It's basically that lady. I also love, because it's Texas, she goes to eat barbecue at her old shop and just legit has a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, God,
Texas.
yeah.
But, right, like, so she's running this pit on Saturdays and stuff, and then she's also works at the school or whatever. But the episode is just like, they tell you the whole life story, right? So I won't give away all the details. But you find out about this person and what they're going through and this and that. And you always see them working on the pits, right?
Of course.
And shoveling the coals. And the shows are about 45 minutes long. But until about the 40th minute, they don't really show you exactly what they're doing. And then they just like showcase an awesome picture, like, she makes this, she makes that.
Also, they tease you on the food.
Right.
So you don't really get that hungry? You're more interested in the show?
They're giving you the story of this person.
Right.
Right? They gave the life story, and then I'm guessing at the end they're like, oh, yeah, that food we said she was cooking, bam.
But that's not like the Food Network, man. I mean, like, you get hungry like 5 minutes in. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and I'm telling you, the word I use in the office is mesmerizing. And I don't know if it's just me and I like barbecue that much, but seriously, I mean, I can't stop watching. I can't turn it off. If I put on an episode, I got to stick through it. But you see him cook, like, you could recognize she's making brisket and stuff.
Sure.
But some of the things, you're like, I wonder what that is. And then, like, towards the end of the episode, it's just like a perfect picture shot of it. And it's like, this is blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not even going to tell people what else she's making. She's doing traditional Central Texas barbecue.
Do you have any family members that barbecue?
I do not.
All right. Thanks to my father's side of the family, all from Texas, every single frickin' person there barbecues, and it's no joke, man.
Is it different styles for different people? Or different techniques for... Does it taste similar?
Really?
So does everyone have a different kind of version?
Everyone has their little secret. I'll post some this here and that. But overall,
isn't Texas traditionally just pepper and salt for the rub, for the most part?
And then some other stuff. And that's the thing. And the other stuff, they'll tell you, don't worry about what I'm putting on there, boy, just eat it, right? So you don't bother to ask. But essentially, it mostly tastes the same, but everyone there barbecues. And when these guys barbecue, man, like, it literally, they are outside all day. They have a light beer, and they just stand next to it. They're not doing anything.
So that's another part of it, too, right? Like, so there's different episodes. One guy's doing whole hog in South Carolina, and he's hanging out with these other dudes. And they're drinking light beers the whole time. And the one guy said, "Cook slow, drink fast."
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Steve was doing Houston family commentary on the Texans and the Chiefs game last night, as if they were sitting around after a barbecue.
Just said, look, so we watched, we saw like basically the last half of the first half of the bar after the show, and I said, man, everyone in my family, because they're all in Houston and they love the Texans, make no mistake. I said, but they're all standing around the TV, and the TV is probably 478 inches large, right? Because in Texas, you must. It's facing outside, King of the Hill style. They're all standing around a barbecue pit, and this is all you hear. My boy sure throwing that ball. I'll tell you right now, man. That defense, oh no, boy, that defense going to win. That J.J. Watt can go back there and knock somebody the hell down. And this goes on for the entire game. That's all you hear. But I will say this. So when you have people in your family that do barbecue, and that's the thing about the show when you bring it up, just knowing that every time I go to Texas, and we joke about it and all this, but man, you get fed so well. And this is a truth about going to, if I flew you guys down with me and I said, hey man, I'm bringing a couple buddies from the show, they'd be like, no problem, baby. We'll make a little bed for them next day down there with us. But when you get there, and it could be 4 a.m. because your flight was delayed, but the moment you walk into that home, my aunt will say, oh, baby, you need to eat. And then say, no, dude, seriously, like I'm fasting. I'm Gandhi. I'm fasting for 40 days. Well, Gandhi, your bald ass is going to go ahead and eat. And they walk to the fridge, whether you want food or not. And, man, their leftovers are always still warm because nothing's been in the fridge that long. And you get 4 different cuts of meat. So you'll get brisket, you'll get this, you'll get ribs, you'll get something you never heard of. You get potato salad, you get a bunch of crap, and they hand you this paper plate. I'm like, and this paper plate has to weigh like 4 pounds. And
it's a single paper plate.
This is a single paper plate. And the first time my wife and I flew down, I said, like, baby, I know how you are. Just eat, because they're going to feed you. And it's going to be more food than you can eat, but do your best. So anyway, we go through the whole rigmarole. We go to bed that night, and she's like, you're not joking. Like, I've never eaten that much food in one sitting. I said, right, you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
they stare at you until you're done.
I love that full Thanksgiving plate of food, though.
I was going to say, you know me, man. I don't think they'd like me.
They would adopt your ass. Mm-hmm. My family would adopt you. That said, let me just say it right now. So the one thing my uncle will do, he barbecues all the time, puts it on dry ice. He will ship it overnight anywhere. I'm going to hook up the show before the end of this crappy-ass 2020.
I think your family will intercept it.
Maybe no, you know what? I'll tell you what. For our spectacular end of the year, right? Because everyone's going to be happy to be at the end of this year. I will coordinate with him to make sure that we get the ribs, the boudin.
That's the only show we do all year where we don't have to do that much. So
that's what I mean.
The best show.
We're going to eat like kings.
There's another episode with a guy in Australia who's English, and everything in his kitchen, the salads, everything is cooked over wood fire. And like, I guess that's part of it.
How do you make a salad over wood fire? Dude, I don't even like salad, but you told me that this morning, and I'm like, all right, I'm intrigued.
Right. I mean, he's grilling the lettuce. I mean, that's the thing. He likes cooking the meat, but he's like what I found with cooking vegetables. And I mean, it's unbelievable. And the time, and like just like, God, man, you could taste the love.
Yeah. So much so you fired up, you're going to go get barbecue tomorrow.
Damn right I am.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. But yeah,
but is it all around the world, or is it just?
It's all around the world. Okay, so it just starts in Texas, then it's the guy in Australia, then they're down in South Carolina. I don't know which episode I'm going to tonight, but yeah, it's barbecue from around the world. And they all say the same stuff. Wherever they're at, they're like, listen, cooking over fire is like in tune with human beings. It's been happening.
I'm on such a Korean barbecue kick. If they did that, I would be all over it.
I'm sure they're going to mix it in there. This is a random one. Tom Brady, do you think he has sex on game day?
No.
Either he does religiously or he's absolutely against it.
Don't they put him in a hotel?
No. Nah, he does not.
He didn't say no. He just said that wouldn't be my pregame warm-up.
No, he doesn't. Because they're in a hotel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but still, it's Tom Brady. If he said, hey, my wife is showing up, who makes more than me, by the way, and we're going to have sex, you go, okay, Tom Brady.
It's one of those things, too. I watched this old movie with one of the Gracies in it, right? Mm-hmm. So not the sex movie Choke, but this one was called Choke 2, and he's in Japan for a tournament, and boxers are kind of famous for not having sex for 2 months or whatever, and he says, 2 weeks. You go any longer than 2 weeks, nature takes over. I do a terrible Portuguese impression, by the way.
Yeah. That was Portuguese?
That's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
I thought your Scarface for a minute.
Say hello.
Say hello
Ted,
to my big friend.
Couple comments. First, Ted, shut up. I'm getting hungry. But also, what's the name of the show?
That's what it is. It's Chef's Table and then barbecue.
Okay, so this season's barbecue, but the name of the show is Chef's Table.
Yeah.
All right,
if you're hungry for it now, just walk outside and smell the air and then go back inside and eat your spaghetti.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I know I'm describing, but I'm telling you, man. And listen, last night I was snacking on damn veggie straws.
I was going to say, does it make you hungry?
What?
Yeah.
Does the show make you hungry?
Right. That's what I was like, I'm going to have some veggie straws to get through this.
Dude, I got wings last night because we're talking about wings yesterday.
I know.
Like, seriously, like, my mouth was watering. And then my wife's like, do you want to get pizza and wings from football? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do.
And trust me, it's good. I have a good habit of, I like to describe things. I'm telling you, man, if you like food at all, just watch it.
At all. If you like food at all.
Especially barbecue.
In other words, everyone listening.
But this is more about the people, the personalities involved, how they got there.
And just the time and care. So next time somebody like me goes, listen, friend, that's not barbecue, you're grilling. And I love grilling.
Sure.
But you'll understand why people like me make such a distinction.
It is a difference. It really is. And then the wrong crowd, don't mess it up.
People are very judgy. Good news, Chuck Norris does not have erectile dysfunction drugs.
Thank God.
Thank God. Okay. I was having a hard time sleeping.
How can he be a ranger?
Baby, why can't you fall asleep? Well, worry about Chuck Norris and the ED thing, you know.
And from our emailer, he can't date 18-year-olds.
There was a fake thing going on. It's supposed to look like a Fox News article that he's pushing the drugs, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not his thing. Speaking of Texas Rangers, also, another good show that came out, I think, a couple years ago, but Highwaymen. I watched that movie on Netflix, too.
I know the name, but I've never seen it.
So basically, you know the story of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
Well, I didn't realize, like, they're going around and nobody can catch them, right?
Yeah.
And
that was their whole thing.
Right, and they're bad people. I mean, they're shooting cops left and right, FBI agents, whatever. So there was a period in Texas where they disbanded the Texas Rangers.
All right.
So then they can't catch them. So they bring these two old Texas Rangers out of retirement and are like, here's like a special license. Like, you're not really like a...
They put a bounty on them probably? Just like, we're going to pay you cash if you get it?
knowledge.
Right,
not
basically like,
board,
this will get you through in Texas. But anyhow, so they... And look, they're older dudes. They got to learn... But it's Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. They got to learn to shoot again and stuff. But it's an amazing story. Then when you find out that those were the actual two guys that got him.
Really?
I'm telling you, man.
I will say this. Once you can do illegal things, it's much easier to achieve the thing you're trying to do. Right? I mean, honestly, guys, what the cops, FBI sometimes like, hey, look, there's a quick stay on this particular law because we don't like these people enough where if we take this one handcuff away from you, like, we got them.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And then I will leave you with this. I told you all about food. We talked about chicken wings. Sunday morning, get up and watch some Seahawks football, man. Get excited.
I'm planning a brunch.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You're doing a brunch?
So the way it came down, talking to a buddy of mine, and we've basically been spending the summer together. They have kids, we have kids. You can quarantine with who you can quarantine with, blah, blah, blah. So we said, look, football's coming up Sunday. That big-ass TV I bought with the tax return, I have not watched because sports ended about a week after I bought it. I'm sitting my ass down. There's two chairs. He's grabbing one. I'm grabbing one. We got the big flat top outside.
Nice.
Bacon.
Nice.
Anything we can put on the flat top, we're cooking the living hell out of it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
With Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. An Ohio woman attacked several McDonald's workers after not getting a cookie in her meal. Meanwhile, a Pennsylvania man at a grocery store is asked to wear a mask and attacks a manager with a frozen pizza. For real. 3 teens arrested after stealing a duck and then taking it to a house party for fun. Florida man impersonating a cop is arrested by an officer with a real gun. And a 62-year-old python who has not been near a male in 20 years gives birth. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
Our top story, we go to Connecticut, where 3 teenagers are being charged with grand larceny for the great crime of stealing a duck. The girls took the duck from a nursery as it was recovering from a raccoon attack, and according to reports, the girls took the duck to the local beach as well as a house party. The 3 have been charged, and sadly, Quackers is still missing.
His name is Quackers?
His name is Quackers.
Quackers was attacked by a raccoon.
Yes.
Kidnapped by 3 chicks.
Correct.
Taken to a beach and a house party.
Correct.
Sounds like a Weekend at Bernie's.
Leave Quackers alone.
But Quackers is alive.
You know what they feed Quackers?
Quackers?
Crackers?
No, bread. Come on. In other news, a man in Texas with 5 previous convictions and 12 arrests for theft had just been arrested, and you guessed it, on theft charges. According to the report, the man was spotted in a local store with an insulated shopping bag, putting items into the bag without looking at them nor their prices. After filling his bag, he approached the registers, became visibly nervous, and attempted to walk through them and out the door. After he was stopped, it was revealed that he was attempting to walk out with $189 worth of unpaid merchandise, and police were called.
Come on, man.
Right.
Just come on.
The fact that he walked up to the registers and looked a little bit nervous, I'm wondering if I wonder if there's something going on up there.
He's been busted 12 times. He's not good at it.
Is he not good at it, or can he just... Is something... Never mind.
Yes, something is not right.
Well, and if you're going to... you can't walk up and look nervous. Like that. Right. I'm with Miles. I think he's bad at this.
Dude, he stole golf equipment his last time around.
Did you see the picture of him?
Yes, he's not... He's
not playing. I don't know anything about him. He does not play golf.
No.
He's a champion. A woman in Ohio takes her drive-thru order seriously. The woman had gone through her local McDonald's drive-thru and became irate after realizing that her order was missing a cookie.
Am I late to the party? The McDonald's has a single cookie you can buy?
Yeah. They got a little plexiglass, at least they did. They have a little plexiglass container there, a lot like Subway does. Just get a cookie.
Is that like the Otis Spunkmeyer?
Mike, I gotta be honest with you. I'm a McDonald's aficionado. They do not have these in this area. I've not seen that.
It doesn't sound like
because they used to have McDonald Land cookies, which came in boxes. They had chocolate chip and the original kind of like a butter cookie, or a butter cracker. They don't sell those anymore either.
Miles, I gotta take you out to the claw, buddy.
I gotta get out of the city, man. Our McDonald's suck if we don't have single cookies because you know they're gonna be good.
Man just needs a cookie.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, right? They might not have them, but the one you go to, wow, you go to the one down here,
Yeah.
There's a reason they don't have cookies, man.
Why?
Yeah,
you don't deserve a cookie because you live here?
No.
Just saying.
They're not going to sell a lot of cookies.
How should I explain this? There's certain areas where you just don't... Yeah, man.
If that cookie ain't laced with the drugs that they went to the McDonald's to buy, there's no point to sell.
Like that McDonald's is famous, not for being a McDonald's.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot of money transacted there, and no one walks away with a burger.
I do respect you sitting there and eat them.
Yeah, that would be tough.
I would say most people at that McDonald's aren't hungry.
Honestly, true story. I did walk down there because I just wanted McDonald's one day, and I did sit there and eat, and then I got back, and then I heard about how terrible that place was. Sounded fine to me. I just had my McDonald's.
It's just a notorious drug market down there.
Exactly.
3rd and Pine.
Let's see. Back to this woman here. Incensed, the woman jumped out of her car and in through the drive-through window, and she attacked multiple employees, even going so far as to spit on one of them.
Judge is like, dude, was this all over a cookie? And she's like, yes.
Right. Over
she
a
admitted
cookie.
It.
Like, what's going on? You okay? You attacked somebody over a cookie. You doing all right?
No, the answer is no.
It's
a cookie.
She was caught on surveillance footage within the restaurant and arrested.
Also, like, at a certain point, like, ice cream machine, whatever, like the judge said, like, people are trying to make a living here, working at McDonald's. Like, there's no reason to be this crazy around them.
Speaking of which, more people acting out about masks. A man in Pennsylvania is the latest. He was approached in a local grocery store for not wearing his mask and decided to take the adult route of pelting the store manager with multiple frozen pizzas before fleeing the store. Employees provided officers with a license plate, which resulted in him being stopped and arrested. Again, we understand that you don't want to wear the masks. Guess what? These companies have to mandate that people have masks while inside of them. Otherwise, the government will shut them down.
A lot of times, I don't want to wear a shirt.
Right.
But I understand when I walk into a store or place of business, they even post a sign. It's really not that big of a deal.
There's certain sanitary practices that go into effect. This is one of them.
Bain didn't want to wear a mask.
Had to.
I don't want to drive 60.
And sometimes the employees, they might not even agree with the policy.
Exactly.
But it's their job. That's the rule of the store. You telling me everything at your job you love doing? Probably not.
That's what
you
I'm
ever
saying.
had a job where you agreed with everything? It's like,
Don't worry.
I feel you. There's nothing. A lot of times bouncers don't care that you're drunk.
Right.
They don't care.
That employee that you're going after, it goes above their head. That store manager that you're raging at, it goes above their head.
And also, even the manager's like, dude, I honestly don't care. I just got to do it.
Right.
That's it.
I have to do it. In order to keep these doors open, I have to do it. Interesting story out of the St. Louis Zoo. One of their snakes was seen curled around 7 new eggs. Normally, this isn't the kind of a big thing, but there are 2 major factors in this find. The ball python is 62 years old, and she hasn't been near a male in years. It's not uncommon for these animals to reproduce asexually, but they're usually done laying eggs well before they turn 60.
You get yours.
Tells me maybe she has seen a male snake that you're not aware of.
You liar! That is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it, bitches. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe out there, and hopefully everything you cook tonight doesn't smell like smoke.
Unless you smoke meat. Which, even if you screw it up, it'll still smell good. In the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production. We're the mighty a radio.com station. Streaming around the world in 17 languages. And now available in a thick, smoky scent. 99.9 KISW and KISW.
I need a change. You've been cold to me too many times. You're wasting money. You're a leaker. So I'm replacing you with a new Navien tankless water heater. No more cold shoulders, no more leaks. Just spa-like comfort and Navien peace of mind. And I want you out today.
When you're ready for a change, ask your plumber about Navien or visit tanklessmadesimple.com.